Afternoon, everyone.
Is it afternoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock in Spain.
I need to say hello.
Oh, hello.
I was the lady that waved at you from up there.
Oh, hiya.
So I will just say hello, but if you're busy.
Well, we're on now if you want to say hello.
Hi everybody, I've just bumped into these three, so I thought I would say a quick hello. Bye.
Hi, Lindy. Hi, Emma. So I thought we'd just jump on and kind of explain what kind of situation, see you later,
See ya.
is going on at the moment. There's a lot of Facebook groups that are sharing that there's 2 active cases in Benidorm, which there's not. Well, there are 2 cases, but there's a lot more than 2 cases. There's 70 something. I can't remember exactly what I put. Untitled Chapter. There's a link that you can go on which shows you exactly how many there's been in the last 14 days. And then it'll also show you how many deaths have been altogether throughout the whole pandemic and how many cases there've been altogether during the whole pandemic. So in the whole pandemic, so this is from March, there's been 533 cases, positive cases of COVID-19. At the moment there's 74. And then there's been 68 deaths in Benidorm itself. So not Comunidad Valenciana, this is just Benidorm. So if you want to go on that post on my page, it tells you how many there are and things like that. And you can go on the link and it will show you all the different regions. So if you want to look at Altea, you want to look at Alicante, or wherever you want to look at, you can look at it all by city, by town,
Yeah, by
little area. And they've also released some information about schooling, which I know a lot of people were kind of intrigued about. So this is just what I've read today that they've put on. Kind of the government met yesterday, I believe it was, and then they announced today. So all kids over the age of 6 have to wear a mask at all times at school. So even if they're in their classroom, it's saying that the kids will need to wear a mask. I don't know how that will work, really. But yeah, that's the current situation, that all kids need to wear a mask. I don't think there was much more about school that was released. If a child has symptoms of coronavirus, or like anything that kind of could be perceived as coronavirus, the teacher has to get them to put a disposable mask on. So if they're wearing like a fabric mask, I am looking at all the comments coming in, by the way, I'm kind of on a reel, that if they present symptoms, they have to change from their fabric mask if they're wearing one, and it has to be disposable. They will then need to go to a specific place, which might be the nurse or a set room that the school has allocated, and the parents will be called and they will have to go to a medical centre. Then, or they call the number. They'll have to take a COVID test, and then the schooling will have to decide how many people they've been in contact with. So it could mean shutting down that class, it could mean shutting down that year group, or and they look at how long that child has spent more than 15 minutes with people in that group. So that's the situation for schooling, which is obviously not great for kids. You know, could be a nice situation. What doesn't make sense to me is that you can sit in a bar like this, where your tables are spaced apart, and take your mask down. But kids can't sit in a classroom where the tables are supposedly spaced apart the same, and they can't take their mask down, which kind of makes it's a bit backwards, surely. But yeah, that's what they've said. When they go into the dining room, I'm assuming they'll probably have to go into sit-ins or something, and obviously they can take their mask down to eat. Something that the parents keep saying though is like, well, you have these bubbles, but our kids are able to play with these kids not in their social bubbles when they're not in school. But I suppose it protects the school more than anything, I guess. Oh, we keep freezing. Oh no. But yeah, it's pretty tough on the kids, especially when you think that they've had however long in lockdown where these kids weren't allowed to go to parks or anything like that. They weren't allowed to do any exercise or anything like that. So it was kind of, you know, it's been a bit tough on Spanish kids. But yeah, crazy. Yeah, such a young age, 6. You think, and one of the arguments that other people kept saying, like other parents were saying, is that at 6 years old, most kids will kind of touch their face or. Oh, wait a second. Gracias. Muy bien. Gracias. Yeah, so, you know, kids at the age of 6 are going to kind of be ones that do touch their face, and especially when they're in the classroom, it's kind of a bit, I mean, I can almost understand secondary, and I can understand like taking them down when they're in the classroom, but yeah, for the Spanish kids, that they have to be over the age of 6 and can't take them down. It feels a bit mean on the kids, I think. That's me coming not as a teacher, so I have no like coming safe from it, and obviously this is nothing to do with Alex's school or anything. They will release their protocol that follows the government and things like that. I have washed my hands, by the way, but I'm having my drink. Yeah, let me catch up on some comments. Right, somebody said, is there any live entertainment? Yeah, there is some live entertainment going on. I have no idea how it's decided of who can do entertainment and who can't, but I did see that somebody that Ashley knows at the corner bar, he said that somebody he knows is doing shows at the moment, and they are on it Sunday at the Showboat at 3 o'clock. And then there's a couple of others that I saw advertised that are doing entertainment, but I do believe it has to finish earlier, and obviously the bars are closing earlier. You both look nice and chilled and relaxed. We're sitting, somebody asked where we are. We're sitting in Cafe Bistro Bahia. That's where we are. And I've got a no alcohol mojito. It's 30 degrees at the minute, so it's quite nice. Well, it's very nice. Let me look at swiped away the comments. Being hard on the kids in all aspects, it's been tough for them all. It has, it's been tough for kids all over. But I know, like, in the UK, kids were allowed to do exercise. I know that parks and things were still closed in some places, but at least they were able to kind of go out for a walk. There's kids that we know, like friends' kids, that would, the first day they could do exercise, were crying and like saying it was the best day of their life, because for X amount of time, 100 days or something, they hadn't even been able to go out, because obviously they weren't allowed to go to the supermarket with parents. They weren't allowed to do, like, we couldn't go into our communal garden in the same way that kids couldn't go into their communal garden. And obviously a lot of kids included, live in apartments, so it's just kind of another one for kids to contend with. London Bar advertised. So London Bar have also said that they're doing entertainment. We need some good news soon. Yeah, I mean, although it's bad news that like the cases are a lot higher than some people are advertising, it's also a lot lower than kind of maybe might be expected for somewhere like Benidorm, which is a big city with a big population. So, you know, you kind of have to take the good news as it is.
I think in terms of the amount of infections there are in Benidorm, I think generally it's quite low compared to like the other parts of Spain. I think that's a thing to point out at this stage.
Yeah.
That actually these high numbers that are coming out are actually, you know, quite a distance away from us. So here we're in a relatively safe area with not many active cases, so therefore you kind of assume that should continue, especially as summer holidays are coming to an end, like school summer holidays I should say. So people are going to be heading back to their own cities. So if Benidorm's at this stage now, given a couple of weeks once everyone has gone back as well, it probably improve again, I imagine, around here. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
And they do say that, I mean, and when you think about what Benidorm's doing, there are a lot of protocol that's around to keep people safe. You walk into the bar and most places are either sanitising or sanitising and taking your temperature. And in some cases they're sanitising your feet. And you know, the beach has got kind of tough protocol going on. And I don't know if you saw on the video on Tuesday, but there are a lot of bars in Benidorm that have prohibited smoking on the terrace altogether. So if you want to smoke, you have to move out of the bar. I saw that the Castell, the one at the top, they were ones that were advertising that you're not allowed to smoke at all. And there was another one that we walked past.
There was quite a few,
few
along the front,
and especially
on
the
Levante.
Old Town.
Yeah,
and the Old Town as well.
and along the front on Levante. It's the Rock and Roll Cafe or something.
I don't want to name it in case it's wrong.
Yeah, but there's quite a few down there that were you're not smoking at the minute on there.
I know which one you mean, on the Levante front, the one that does rock music,
yeah,
and they've got like rock star kind of front.
Yeah, I can't remember.
They were ones that said prohibited to smoke, and the Castell was as well. Stop telling us how hot it is, it's raining here. Let's send you some, look at the blue sky, look at that, and then you can kind of, what's that thing called when you like imagine it and then it happens near you? What's that called? There's some form of like, what is it? Law of attraction, that's it. If we show it. Where's Rio? Rio is under the table. He is over there. Rio! You okay?
Around, I think.
Rio is I tried to put him on a modelling agency today. That they do like what's the word? Dog representation. So you can put them in this agency and then they will like distribute work to them. So places like Aldi and things like that, if they need a dog in their advert, they call you up and you bring them over. Or it could be that they want an Instagram post about a new product or something. So I tried to put Rio forward. And then on it says, to even be considered, you have to have a minimum of 5,000 Instagram followers. We was like, oh. But he's getting closer. I think he's like a couple of hundred now or something. Like, so he's getting close. So if you do know anyone that likes cute dog pictures, well, you know, in my opinion, cute dog pictures, Rio is on Instagram. A few people asking where Rio is. Under the table, chilling. I'll show you a bit of the thing. Cousin was saying to me, walked past lines and we weren't wearing masks, and the police caught them and took them to the bank. Yeah, the fines are there for people who aren't wearing masks. You know, if you're not following protocol, law of attraction, believe it and it will manifest. There you go. Believe in Benjamin and it will come to you. Watching from Turkey, fantastic, amazing. Doggy stardom. Hope it's not a wolf business. Oh, thanks for following him, Nikki. Oh, everyone here needs to follow him. Thanks, Rita. I think majority of you probably already follow him, so tag a friend on his Instagram. We just need to get him up to 5k, don't we? And then he can be like, you know, when you're watching TV, you'll be like, oh, I know that dog, that's Rio. And we'll be like, yes, Rio, it's great. You back in Bendon? We are in Poniente area at the moment. Luke is watching for the Old Town in Benidorm, fantastic. But yeah, if there's anything else you want to know, let me know in the comments and I might be able to answer them. I mean, I don't know everything, but I've been reading a lot this morning to try and prepare for this video, because I thought, right, I know there's a lot of things to clear up, so I thought if I do that. Everyone should realise, take responsibility. It's sad for everyone, but take care and just deal with this the best they can. Exactly put Shaheen. You know, we have to, part of it, you know, you've got to kind of get back to some kind of normality. And while they're saying you can do this, that and the other, I mean, I'm all up for it. But, you know, we've got the masks and things like that. And, you know, they could turn around next week and go, you know what, it's unfair for kids the age of 6 to wear a mask at all times in school. I mean, look at the UK government. They did a U-turn pretty much the day that the kids went back to school, isn't it, with the secondary kids having to wear a mask. So, you know, this could just be something that they put in theory and then realise that actually it's not. You know, you can't expect 6-year-old kids to wear a mask, or maybe they might turn around and say, oh, you know, all kids all together don't need to. You know, there's still, is it about 2 weeks till kids go back?
7th of September, Monday the 7th, kids go back. So
there's still a couple of weeks that they might, you know, assess the situation again. And obviously if they do, I'll let you know. What bar are you in? We're in Cafe Bistro Bahia. Come on everyone, like Rio's Insta page, let's get him modelling. 4,649 he's on. 4,000, right, so how many does he need then?
Just under 400.
351. What a lovely weather, I won't show you my view. Yeah, but it's bin day, Carol, so it's fine. It's fine. It's a big day out. Can you get me on the plane? I can try. There are more cases per million inhabitants in Spain with coronavirus than in the US now as well, which is also not particularly good news. So if you're kind of looking at that data, don't know what that means for quarantine. Because while it's high in Spain, I don't think they're going to release it in the next couple of weeks. Still being that it's a country.
I think that's also kind of like how much testing's going on.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Really affects that number. Here at the minute, testing seems to be pushed really hard, whereas other countries seem to be scaling that back at the minute. So I think, not that I'm, sitting there saying they are, but from what you're reading in the media and what have you, I get the feeling that here's doing more and more testing, whereas other countries are kind of slowing down on it, maybe.
There's also a new app that's been released in Spain, and I think it's called Radar app or something, and it's in Spanish, English, I want to say Dutch, and German. Yeah. And on it, it kind of tracks where you've been. Which obviously some people are not too keen on because they're like, oh, but I'm being tracked and everything like that. So, this is just fact. I'm not giving any opinion on it. It's just, that's what it is. But you kind of put where you've been, and then if you've been in contact with somebody, they will give you a notification that you've been in contact, that you've been somewhere at the same time as someone else who has now tested positive. So that's another way that they're kind of looking at maybe being able to control kind of the amount of cases that there are, that if you kind of know about it, you might be more inclined to take more steps to prevent passing it on, or you might stay away from vulnerable people in your family or whatever for the next 14 days or what have you. So that's another thing that they've rolled out in Spain. Do you think it's safe due to not many around? Oh yeah, definitely. Benidorm is pretty much open. There's bars that are still open and things like that, and the protocol keeps you safe. If you're following the guidelines that have been set out for you, then I can't say, oh yes, you will 100% be safe, because nobody knows. But I still think you're as safe here as somewhere in another country that might not have so strict protocol. That's just mine. Could you let me know when you've updated the hotel list? Yeah, definitely. That is on my list to do this week. I need to do it. I'm going to have to start emailing all the hotel owners again. So I'll do the ones that have kind of updated on social media and then collate all them together. And then I'll go through and email all the ones that have kind of kept it quiet, maybe. And kind of get involved with their guest relations and their hotel management to see if I can find a date for that. But yeah, I will do. I'll post it onto the page. Changed our holiday in Salou till next year. Aww. We all need to look after each other and bear with the rules. My bar's closed and I'm bored, but we need to buy by the rules. Oh no, bar's shut. Where's Rio's Instagram page? If you go on Instagram, if you go on this video, there's a bio. That's the word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Description. There's a description of the video, and it's got a link. Or you can go on Instagram and type King Cav Rio. I'd like to thank you two and Ashley from the Corner Bar for keeping us up to date. Oh, thank you. Oh, pleasure. My family's been saying it's so quiet in Villajoyosa and can't wait for Brit to be back over. It is really quiet. It's quiet in Benidorm, and we've not been to Villajoyosa, have we?
No.
So I don't know about La Villa, but yeah, I can imagine it is. Gotta get me mojito before it melts. Basically, there's more cases as they're testing more people, but hospital admissions are low. Yeah, exactly. The testing is higher, but hospital admissions are low. The deaths have still stayed relatively low. I think there was 40 this week. That was for the whole week. And when you think at the beginning of the pandemic, there were days where there were about 600 in a day. So it is still very low. Where's Doggo? He's admiring Benidorm by the looks of it. You okay? You having a look round? Rio! I don't know what he's looking at. think he's just looking at the chairs or the beach.
He's looking out for friends, I think.
He is. What's Rio's Instagram? I follow you, Lauren, on Twitter. I adore Rio. King Cav Rio. Thanks for the stars, Claire. I've seen a couple of you have sent stars, but they're not all showed through of who they are, so I'll go through afterwards. Just a quick one. The Ingham family from U2 were in Benidorm. The dad flew home, collected car, drive, bikes there on a caravan holiday, and their old car broke. Oh no. Does Alex have to do a test because he's a teacher? Do you have to have a test?
No.
No, teachers don't have to have tests.
One of our school protocols is that we take daily temperature checks. So us and students are going to be asked to be taking a temperature before they go into school. Every day. We may be asked when we get there to double check that. But if your temperature's over a certain level, you're not meant to come in that day.
You're not allowed to.
Yeah, you're not allowed to come in. So, just gotta.
And again, that could change because there's still a couple of weeks until schools come back. What does that say? The Ingham family are also riding on an electric scooter with a 1-year-old on their back. Do you know what the law is on passengers on electric scooters? Pretty sure you're not allowed to do that. Where are you now? We're in the Poniente area with Rio. Where's the wine? I'm on the no alcohol mojito, my favourite. Or King Cav Marley might come up. Yeah, you type in King Cav and then it will say like King Cav Marley and King Cav Rio, and they're both my dogs. Had my flights cancelled with EasyJet, so holiday cancelled to next year, transferred hotel to August, and I've booked my flight, staying with the Prince Park, cost 110 extra. Probably worth that extra 110 because I'm, fingers crossed next year it might be back to normal. Maybe that's just optimistic speaking. Maybe that's law of attraction again. Where do you work? Alex works in a school in Spain, and I work marketing. Yeah, not for this. Instagram search King Cav Rio, follow. Yeah, follow King Cav Rio. Anyway, we're gonna finish off our drinks. Hopefully that clears up things. It's never going to clear up. Yeah, few questions. It's never going to clear up all, is it? You just kind of have to take each day as it comes, isn't it? If quarantine lifted, sorry, do you want to say?
I think it's that it's still fast moving and things change. So what's right today, can change tomorrow. So it's one of those things, really.
So this is the 27th of August at 5:30, but maybe the 27th of August at 6 o'clock they might release something else.
And it changes.
But yeah, it could all change again. It can all change in a day, in a second. So yeah, this is the situation at the minute. I understand what stars are all about, but you have to give a card number to pay for them. Yes, when I've done it through PayPal. So when I've sent them to Acer, I buy them in bulk and then kind of send him like 50 a show or whatever, or 16 if I'm being like.
Someone else sent him 15.
If Scott Green sends 15, then I will send 16. So yeah, I kind of buy them in bulk and then just kind of distribute them to people that I watch, and do it that way. But I do it through PayPal, but I think you can do it like with a card number or things like that. But again, like you don't have to send a star, it's only like people if they want to. Like obviously we're very grateful if people send them, but it's not like compulsory at all. So yeah, enjoy your mojito. No doubt Alex has a Coke.
Yeah, it's pretty much gone now. Yeah, Coke, always.
So predictable. Right, well, I can't pick up Rio to show you. He's too busy gawking at the sea. I think he wants to have a swim, but he cannot have a swim in Benidorm. Thanks, Marion, for the 50 stars. Hope that cleared up some questions. If you've got any more, you can either send me an email or put it on my Facebook wall, and then I might be able to reply straight away if I already know. If I don't, I'll kind of look into it for you and kind of Google it in Spanish and things like that. And yeah. Do we have to stay away from all cash machines? No, not at all. Only the ones that are like the standalone. If you go near the pet shop in Benidorm, I'm sure you know where I mean. There's like a road that's got loads of banks on. So if you look for BBVA, or Santander, or Caixa, C-A-I-X-A,
Sabadell.
and Sabadell, yeah. They all have ATMs. They might charge you for withdrawing money abroad, but they're not going to clone your card unless obviously someone's tampered with it. But that's no different to the UK. So if you kind of fiddle with it first, like you pull it out and make sure there's nothing there, then it's fine. Right, we'll catch you later. Bye.